I'm Danielle, and I'm going to be preaching on support. Romans 11:18 says, "You do not support the root, but the root supports you." Now, before we dive into support, I think it would be best to figure out what is support. I looked it up in the dictionary, and it told me that support means to bear or hold up or to serve as a foundation for. This year, my sister and I, we went to almost all of the BSU basketball games. And we went there to support the team, but we weren't holding them up. We supported the team, but the team wasn't supported by us. When we were gone, they didn't miss us. They didn't even know when we were there. So true support is a way of showing love. So what kind of things support? Well, we know that cement, beams, columns, things like that, they support buildings and houses. But the bigger thought is, do we as people really support each other? Now, a house has multiple places of support that it needs in order to stay standing, and so do we. So there's multiple kinds of support that you're able to find in your own life. The first kind of support that I found in my life was my family support, and along with that came my parents and my sibling. So my parents, I've been in marching band for 2 years, and every single football game, every single competition, and even a couple of the practices, they've been there. This year at D3, the biggest competition that we've got, the weather was miserable. Our uniforms are so hot, and we were like freezing in them. And it was raining, and the only thing that my family had in order to keep themselves dry were blankets. And they still sat there, and they watched everyone, and that's a lot of people. This year I was also in the musical at my school, Bye Bye Birdie. My parents were there for all 5 performances. And even if we didn't think we did so good, my parents were like, "Oh, that was so good, that was so incredibly funny," even on the last night when they knew all of the jokes. I've also watched my friends, and in all of their sports that they've done, even they have come back, and they tell me how well they did, but I know that their parents already know because they tell me that their parents know. Their parents are at their meets, at their competitions, everything, in order to support them. Now, I have a sister, and I can trust her with anything. She knows pretty much everything about me, and stuff that I don't tell anyone else, she knows. And she's also there, when I get hurt, she's also there to comfort me. But I think she takes it upon herself to protect me, maybe simply so that she doesn't need to comfort me. The second kind of support that I found in my life was my friends' support. Now, my friends, like my sister, I can trust them with anything. They know a lot of stuff, and I can tell them anything, and I know that they're not going to judge me. And they're also there whenever I need them. Maybe not to say it's going to be okay if they don't think it is, but they'll always be able to tell me what I need to hear. Now, the third type of support that I found was church support. I thought, what do I really go to my church with? Well, the only time that I go to my church is when I need spiritual help. And even then, not very often. I usually go to my dad or Betsy. I think that within the church, we get so caught up in this idea that we are the body. We are the body of Christ. We need to be strong. We need to go out, and we need to support other people outside of our church. That we forget that bodies are imperfect, and bodies get sick. And within the church, our body gets sick with addictions, a death in the family, or maybe something as trivial as a breakup. 1 Corinthians 9:12 is speaking of the apostles, and it says, "If others have this right of support from you, shouldn't we have it all the more?" Now, in your body, as all of you know, you have a skeleton, and that is your support system. If you don't have your skeleton, you're not able to function. In the church, our skeleton, our support system, really is our support within each other. And once we are able to support each other, once we get that support system within us, we will be able to be the body of Christ that God calls us to be.